Former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is among a host of senior Tory MPs demanding a debate over Labour's disastrous decision to scrap winter fuel payments. The government laid a statutory instrument on Thursday to scrap the £200 to £300 cold weather payments. And top Conservatives, including Mr Sunak and former Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, on Friday signed an early day motion to force a debate in Parliament. Under parliamentary procedure, the government does not have to provide time for the SI to be debated. The Conservatives said 59% of the public are against this cut. Laura Trott MP, Shadow Chief Secretary to the Treasury, said, Labour's disastrous decision to scrap winter fuel payments must be held to account. This Labour government has tried to avoid scrutiny in Parliament for the consequences of their actions, but the public deserve better. On behalf of the 10 million pensioners left on the hook for Labour's political prioritisation of their union paymasters, we are determined to ensure this issue is debated. The statutory instrument also reveals that the Labour government has not carried out a full impact assessment, as no significant impact on the private, public or voluntary sectors is foreseen. Energy regulator Ofgem on Friday announced it is hiking the cap by 10% for a typical household to £1,717 from October. The rise has prompted demands for the government to abandon the controversial axing of winter fuel payments for around 10 million pensioners. Shadow Energy Security and Net Zero Secretary Claire Cochin MP said, instead of prioritising cheap energy, the new Labour government are pursuing Ed Miliband's reckless net zero targets with no thoughts to the costs. And far from their promise of saving families £300 off their energy bills, one of their first acts in office is to remove the winter fuel payment from 10 million pensioners this winter. Because they weren't honest about their plans, that means millions of pensioners will have made no plans to deal with higher energy bills this winter. Consumer champion Martin Lewis said restricting the previously universal payments of up to £300 to only those receiving pension credit was too narrow, as he called for a rethink. He said, pension credit is a payment for those on an income of less than £12,600, that's very, very low. So while I actually agree, there's a very strong argument for getting rid of a universal winter fuel payment, I think the eligibility criteria is far too narrow. The money-saving expert founder suggested limiting the allowance to those in council tax bands 8 to D, which are lower-value properties. He told BBC Radio 4's Today programme that would raise eligibility above just those who are on pension credit. I have to say it is an imperfect solution, but it is a workable, quick solution, and I'm due to be meeting Rachel Reeves in a couple of weeks on various issues, and I will certainly be pushing that idea to them. Pensioners missing out on the payments could be left £500 worse off this winter, according to analysis by the End Fuel Poverty Coalition. The group's coordinator Simon Francis said, for some pensioners, this winter will see them pay more for their energy than they have ever done in their lives. That's the grim reality behind Rachel Reeves' double blow to pensioners. They have taken away winter fuel payments for millions just as bills increase. It shouldn't need to be said, but pensioners having lower energy bills is vital because the risks of older people living in cold, damp homes are greater and results in more pressure on the NHS. Older people may well have additional issues, such as disabilities or underlying health conditions, which can be made worse living in cold, damp homes. It comes as the Daily Express is campaigning for the scrapping of winter fuel payments, which were previously available to all pensioners, to be reversed. Dennis Reed, director of the Silver Voices campaign group for older people, said the energy price cap jump exposes the unsustainability of the government's political position on the winter fuel payment.